Hi and welcome to this week's weekly scope forecast prediction. So we've got a lot to cover. I'm Amani from the Holistic Astrological Podcast. So on the 7th of August the moon leaves Via Combusta, and that's pretty much it for that day. It was an intense week last week, so I'm just going to move straight on until the 8th of August. So on the 8th of August, the moon void, of course, starts at 7:11. Remember, all times I mentioned are in GMT, and it ends at 10:06 a.m. There's also a gibbous moon at 9:45 tonight. So the moon enters the constellation of Sagittarius today at around 8 minutes past 10. And people will want more freedom and to break from routine. Some of you may become more optimistic than normal, more open-minded, wanting new adventures. Typically, this energy makes us not want to be emotionally tied down. This can cause problems in committed relationships. You may want to explore new horizons. People can become hot-headed, thinking we are right and not respecting other people's opinions, wanting to control and limit others while demanding even in some cases their own freedom is the negative use of this energy. Seeking higher knowledge, training your intellect, being open-minded and respecting others is the best use of this time when the moon's in the constellation of Sagittarius. Be curious, try new things and do all you can to expand your intellect or higher consciousness while respecting others' boundaries. Also on the 8th of August, Mars makes a semi-square to Jupiter, so if you're willing to work hard, you can succeed. Again, this aspect increases the chances of conflict over beliefs. Jupiter's the ruler of Sagittarius. Mars makes us a bit more aggressive, a bit more self-interested, so wanting to get things our own way. There can also be legal troubles and exaggerated words and actions. Venus also opposes Pluto. This can cause obsessive, hedonistic or stan behaviour. Make sure you respect other people's boundaries. Don't do anything without consent basically, and just be aware that people may be a bit more stalkery and stanny than normal. So sexual tension can be high, causing excessive hookups and flirtation. There can also be jealousy, salty behaviour and power struggles in intimate relationships. Mercury also makes a quincunx to Jupiter, allowing for sound judgment and staying level-headed in important or conflicting discussions. Not keeping promises, lazy thinking and action can cause you not to meet your obligations. Avoid blowing things out of proportion and try to resolve tension. Try and see the other person's point of view, and again this can be hard to do. So much different divisive cancer culture in things going on, but just remember that sometimes we have to try and stay calm. If we want a more peaceful life and world, we have to try and understand each other, and we don't have to agree with everything that everyone says, but at least try and get where they're coming from. So when the moon travels through the constellation of Sagittarius, it's a good time for those involved in farming or gardening to sprout seeds, harvest, store bulbs and plant roots, or cultivate bulbs or fruit plants, and general groundwork such as just digging up weeds and all of that, making sure your land's all nice and pretty or ready for sowing is perfect too. The moonlight will boost the growth of leaves and the planting of legumes, i.e. lentils, peas and beans, cucurbits such as cucumber, courgette, squash, melons, tomatoes and peppers are favoured, and also mowing the lawn. It's a good time to do that as well. So the astrology of the 9th of August. The sun makes a square to the moon's north node, so it's a good energy to make influential or to focus on working towards your long-term goals. If you are unsure of what they are, think about what they could be and write down a detailed plan and all the steps you need to take to reach them. So for example, if you want to be a doctor and currently don't have the qualifications, research all the skills you need to become one over the necessary 9 to 15 years training period, Although you may want to spend time with others at this time, this may be difficult due to conflicts over beliefs or methods of doing things. My way is better than yours and all of that, which can lead to a battle of wills and interests. Egotistical behaviour and polarised black and white thinking can produce tension in relationships. Moon Day 12 can be a good time for new starts if you have done the planning beforehand. It's also a day of coldness and sensuality can be high, so if you're susceptible to getting colds and stuff like that, make sure you wrap up warm and take all your vitamins, eat well and all the rest of it as well, especially if you suffer from disorders that are caused by changes in temperature. Do all you can to look after your nervous system and reduce anxiety, stress and depression. So yeah, the astrology of the 10th of August, the moon void of course starts at 10:13. The moon void of course ends at 10:29. So the moon enters the constellation of Capricorn and people become more ambitious and power hungry. This is a perfect transit to focus on your career, family and other practical matters. The ability to carry on with what's important regardless of emotions is given under this moon. Still, emotional coldness, snobbishness, thinking you're better, being high key can cause problems in intimate relationships. Yet the power to work through these issues is also given, and also the power to work hard at any work that needs to be done. Concentration and paying attention to detail is given. Some of you may receive recognition for past or current achievements while the moon is transiting in the constellation of Capricorn. There can be an increased interaction with authority or governmental figures for good or bad. Transactions involving real estate, business, food, domestic services and products can do well. Mars is also making a sextile to Neptune, decreasing ambition and making people feel a bit more relaxed and laid back. So, interfering with the hard-working inclination of the moon being in Capricorn. So yeah, Mars is sextile to Neptune may make you feel like seeking solitude, preferring to be in nature or some other peaceful surroundings, or just wanting to work in a different environment or doing something different, maybe listening to music and putting on some visuals of people floating in the sky or yeah. So yeah, negatively, Mars sextile Neptune can make people aggressively pursue to cut themselves off from their feelings or challenging situations, using drugs, alcohol, porn, hookups or any other intoxicating substance or experiences to escape reality. Uranus' square to the Sun can also amplify this unpredictable behaviour, especially by those in power. Plans can suddenly be made or changed under this influence, and people may want to conform less and stand out more, regardless of how others take their actions. Great aspect for visionary ideas on positive changes in personal thoughts, behaviours and relationships. On the 11th of August, Moon Day 14, it's a perfect time to start new things. The moon is supporting fresh starts, providing additional power to go on, power through over any obstacles or emotional instability or just feeling like you can't do it. The moon supporting you and saying yes you can. However, only well thought up plans will succeed in the long run. Weigh up the pros and cons of any action before taking it. Mercury also makes a sesquiquadrate C-square to Pluto, allowing for quick thinking and reactions, supporting persuasive writing and speech, marketing and selling. Negatively, people can express extremist beliefs that cause tension in relationships. Be careful of how you say things, as you may push people away, especially people that you may want to keep close. There can also be emotional, psychological and spiritual problems, including paranoid thinking. People can also be manipulative and use cunning, being sly, trying to finesse you to get what they want. and there can be a lot of taking advantage of those who are more vulnerable of you on this day. So just watch out for being on the receiving end of that. And it's not nice to take advantage of people, but that's just my thoughts on it. So yeah, on the 12th of August, there's a super full moon. Yay! And this happens at 2:36 a.m. Remember, all times are in GMT. So yeah, what is a supermoon? Supermoon can happen on either a new or full moon phase, and basically means that the moon is the closest it comes to the Earth's orbit, basically. So it appears more bigger than it does at other times. But it's an illusion after all. It's just that it's closer to the Earth. So yeah, some astrologers say supermoons enchant and deepen emotions, and repressed desires and feelings can surface more intensely. This month's moon opposite the sun, the full moon, happens when the moon is in the constellation of Capricorn. So there can be a struggle with accepting any deep emotions that come up. The full moon is a time of completion and illumination. Some of you may focus on finishing things, others will experience revelations, either by your own exploration, research, seeking things out, or from the words or actions of others. Negatively, the full moon can make us act irrationally and be quick to anger. There can be tension between the conscious and subconscious minds, the things we should do and what we want to do. You may just be like, oh, I don't want to go to work, but this may cause problems with your boss or with your family, with your partners. So yeah, the moon also makes a square to Mars at the time of the full moon, which intensifies the risk of emotional outbursts and being irritable at the slightest perception of criticism. There can be a lot of hot-headedness and worse, low-level violence due to lack of emotional control. Mistakes can be made due to laziness or lack of attention. The moon also forms a square to Uranus, amplifying the chances of emotional instability. Some people may be restless and seek excitement at all costs, pushing others' buttons to get a reaction out of them. Boredom can cause issues in the home or workplace because of reluctance to accept authority. Nevertheless, Saturn's conjunction with the moon can help relieve this tension, allowing you to stay calm and withdraw from any conflict, arguments that comes your way. Still, emotional coldness can cause problems in relationships that can lead to temporary separations. There can also be feelings of not being good enough that affect productivity. Fear can hold you back from taking much needed risks. So yeah, after the full moon at 2:36 a.m, the moon enters void of course. This starts at 6:58 a.m. and ends at 10:20 a.m. and then the moon enters the constellation of Aquarius, and it will stay there until the 14th of August. The moon in the constellation of Aquarius helps us intuitively understand and emphasize with others. You can feel more charitable by joining or deepening your connection with a humanitarian cause. Ideas that focus on empowering humanity by using science, technology, spirituality, or any other methods may come your way. Working in groups can bring innovation and clarity. You want to probably have a bit more freedom at this time and do something to change your appearance or something like that, or just break from your normal routine. Negatively, you and others can become so detached from your environment and the people in it that you ignore each other's feelings. Still, the Aquarius moon vibration allows you to focus on the facts and keep a cool head under pressure. Again, a need for independence can add to the tension already active in today's relationships. Yet, the best use of energy is to focus on your own self-expression, letting yourself be who you are while considering the needs of others. Moon Day 15 is a day when action and reaction are essential. So just thinking about what you're going to do and how you're going to react, or actually taking action and making sure you do react rather than just being laid back and doing nothing. It can be a highly seductive day, so it's best to check the facts when the moon is in the constellation of Aquarius. It's an excellent time to trim plants, store and plant bulbs and sow chives, onion, leeks, shallots, garlic, tulips, daffodils and lilies, and anything of the similar varieties. Getting rid of parasites, domesticating your garden, and if you want to slow the growth of your fruits, veg or plants for any reason, you can do that as well. It's a perfect energy to domesticate your garden. Onions planted now, all forms can bring in a big harvest. So yeah, it's a good time to plant those onions and similar things while the moon is in Aquarius. On the 13th of August, the moon void of course starts at 8 o'clock whilst in the constellation of Aquarius. Mars also makes a trine with Pluto today, which is the strongest tomorrow at 10:27 p.m. and leaves completely on the 16th of August at about 12:59 p.m, but will still affect us till around the 19th of August as the energy just slowly filters out. So yeah, Mars trine Pluto, sex drives can be high, and so can tension, arguments, I want it this way, no, I want it this way, and all of that, just over anything. Oh, I don't like your socks, well, I love my socks, well, I hate them. Just silly discussions can happen and cause just blowing things out of proportion. The best thing to do with this excess energy is to do some exercise, meditation, or anything else that is a release to you, such as a creative project, listening to music, going for a walk, doing some knitting, some other handicraft work, watching a film, whatever it is that makes you just feel less pent up and wanting to start wars with other people. So yeah, there can also be a risk of destructiveness and problems with authority. This energy can be used to make significant and radical transformations in your thought, behaviour and relationship patterns. So the best use of this energy is to do work on yourself and do some personal development. This power basically is best used to improve in your own life or the life of others, rather than try and control other people and situations. Just try and manage yourself. So yeah, if you have been putting things off, you can get them done right now. But watch out that you don't overwork yourself, which can lead to exhaustion and frustration. Well thought out plans are best at this time, so write or voice record your strategy, giving yourself space for relaxation and some fun. Big successes are possible, especially on the psychological and emotional levels. Giving yourself space for relaxation and some fun. Big successes are possible, especially on the psychological and emotional levels. The Sun also makes an opposition to Saturn at this time, which may cause some delays in your well thought out plans, and you may have trouble getting your point across to others. Still, if you have patience and persevere and go through the correct procedures rather than take shortcuts, you will reach your final goal. So as you can see, it's a very up and down sort of week with the full moon and with 3 planetary squares, but if you just plan for success, success will come. So yeah, that's the weekly forecast from the 7th of August up until the 13th of August, and I will see you next week. Take care. Bye bye.